See me go fling in the bus. Watch out! Watch out! I'm not getting there.
Good night. This is the person who in the video with the bus driver, male taxi driver. And me see everybody have bash me and I say me this and me that and but nobody now talk about what happened at first. Is it everybody there on the page I talk about the taxi driver, this the taxi driver that, and the video where I post and all these things. To make it look like say me a one violent person. First thing, me a one violent person. You see me? Secondly, the bus stop at U-Tech gate. Seeing me go around the bus and pull over. Me pass the bus and pull over down at the bus stop right at U-Tech gate. To pick up some passenger and me step out of the vehicle. Seeing the bus man come down from the car and I toot him on. So me I call him and I say come round. Him wait till the next lane clear and him taking a little time. Drive around the car. Me know that like everybody over here talk about this and that and this and that. But that no fear for him do that to me. You get me? That no fear for him do that to me on a driveway. That at my youth get and him and I have to drive him down go way down at the gate. That no fear, Virgin. That no fear. That no fear and people talk about this and that and come on. Anybody in that situation that understand and know say somebody must get and everybody sometimes people just get upset, you see me? Because look, me not understand why him do that. Him not have no reason to do that, him not have no right to do that. Me not even come out and say nothing to him. I stand up on my car and him do that to me and then I driveway. You get me? And when me drive him down now and jump, you know, everybody gonna say, oh, you should just go report it and go down at the head office or whatever, or sort of thing. But if them in the position, it'll be different. Why him never go report it when me fling 2 stones off of him? Why me have to reverse and run up and mash at the back of the car? Why me have to do that then? So at the same for the same. Them need for the better to Beijing. All the while in the road, them company road like say them own the road. The two way operate a service. So if we share the road, we'll all license and show for the road. Me not come and do stupidness on the road, Beijing. People, me don't know why people always feel like it right for one of the JUTC driver them just come around and arm people. And I feel them style like them just always do them thing there. More than one time a bus driver bad drive me or do that them type of thing there. You get me? But this man, me don't know what the man do. Like, them need to just get some better drive up on the road for JUTC them. Because me not do the man nothing for him do me that and on top of it, him a driveway after that. He never stop and see if me alright now, nothing. Him not even gonna stop because him deliberately do it. You get me? So, there's two sides to a story. Why they never video that? Why they never video that? But them video, when me sell 2 stones off of him. And I say taxi man this and taxi man that.
Welcome to Crime Time News and Entertainment with a Buzz. If you're familiar with the corruption pecking order hierarchy in Jamaica, you would know that gangsters run the route, them run the road. It is obvious in governments, and it is even more obvious when it pertains to specific geographic areas in Jamaica, talking about Spanish Town, talking about St. Catherine. And that was exposed once again a couple of days ago. Now there's a construction infrastructure development program going on known as PARTS that is monitored by the government. They use contractors or subcontractors and they are fixing or patching parts of Mandela Highway. However, that work had to be stopped because the contractors were being extorted by extortionist gangsters or thugs from the Spanish Town and St. Catherine area. I want you to take a listen to what the Works Minister, Mr. Robert Morgan, has to say about the situation and how he is going to fix that situation that presently exists that halted that work. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
But I guess because of the quantity of patching that we're doing, maybe we should have been more cognizant in terms of going into particular geographic spaces. But I can guarantee you that now that this has happened, we have reassessed our approach. The police are a part of it. We're supposed to have consultations with TSEB as well as further consultations with the police to ensure that wherever we go, where we do the threat assessment and we perceive that there, and it's not the majority of the community, it's 1 or 2 miscreants who prey on citizens who try to do these things. And I can guarantee you, with all the publicity that we have gotten, and that the rejection by the public of this sort of behavior, that they are going to be a bit more afraid to try to perpetrate this again. But we're not depending on that. We are going to ensure that for the SPARK program and for the continuation of the REACH program, that we have a very close relationship with law enforcement.
So people, like I said, that was the works minister that was talking in that voice note. So we can assume that he has an idea what is going on because he is on the ground. He is the person that is issuing out these contracts. So therefore, if the contractors are having problems, they would contact him. Now people, can you imagine if that is a government and the government contractors are being extorted? What are the chances of a regular businessman doing any sorts of business in any of those volatile communities, specifically St. Catherine, Spanish Town? You will have to pay. So what we've come to the realization is that extortion is like second nature. So therefore, whenever these thugs, these dons realize that there's any sorts of work being done by the government or a private company, they are going to send out their people and they are going to give them the stipulations. The government of Jamaica are also familiar with those stipulations. So whenever these thugs see any sorts of road work, any sorts of construction, whether it is patching or paving the whole road, their antennas go up as usual because them say, easy food. So therefore, when they go to those people, the contractors, and them tell them, say, you know, say a X run off over here, so, and if any sorts of work is to be done without any sorts of delay, then X has to get paid. These thugs are probably surprised when them get a reaction like people have put up any sorts of resistance. So we hear the Minister of Works talking, but he knows what is business as usual. They are the ones that have been facilitating this FUCKRY. So now they are coming and they are putting down their foots. He is saying that they are going to get Dr. Kevin Blake, JC, the Commissioner of Popo involved along with Park, and they are going to re-strategize. The strategy should have been that from day one, and that is why a lot of persons, meaning private business people, are losing their life, or even persons contracted to these government facility. Now people, they should not be surprised because here's the thing. Don't know if you remember, there was a thug, a gangster, a Don from Spanish Town, I think his name is Thickman. There was some sorts of news article being done that he is an extortionist. And this man had the audacity to come on TVJ News, did some sorts of interview in the presence of his lawyer, and he demanded some sorts of apology. As a matter of fact, based on information that I am getting, it was a politician from that same era, Spanish Town, won't call any sorts of name, that played a part in this man getting some sorts of apology. So people may just say the thing gone bad already and there's no sorts of coming back, and this is yet an perfect example. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, as bad as it sounds for business, one, especially women should avoid certain places in a Jamaica, if you can, if you have zero choices. I am speaking about places like downtown that are volatile communities. I know that a lot of persons go to the market there. A lot of persons go to the wholesale there. If that is your life and you have zero choice, I cannot tell you to stop going there. However, if you don't need to be there, if you can afford to not go there to do business, to save some money, you should not be penny wise and pound foolish. That means that just to save a couple of bucks, you are going to lose your life or even get robbed, because there is no sorts of money that can repay you going through a traumatic episode. I am speaking about a lady that went to downtown Duke Street, to be specific, at about 9 something in the morning. Now people, if you know anything about downtown, 9 something in the morning is busy. It is bustling, all sorts of people all over the place. This lady went into her vehicle. As soon as she stepped into her vehicle, a man came behind her, started to strangle her, started to CLAAT her up in her head, took her cell phone and then take away himself. He was later arrested and charged for robbery and robbery with all sorts of injury, rete, lele, blue, blah, bling. Now people, like me say, I have spoken to a couple of people, specifically women, that went through some sorts of traumatic episode based on being some sorts of victim in some sorts of robbery. In a downtown to be specific, and they have told me in no uncertain terms, I will never go back to downtown unless my life depends on it. And then again, you can go down there and lose your life. And this is my disclaimer again. Jamaica is a third world country. Most persons cannot afford to shop uptown. So therefore, downtown is the only option. No option B. But do you shop downtown? And if you've ever experienced any sorts of traumatic episode as in a robbery, how do you think? Do you re-strategize? Do you rather to go uptown to the Mega Mart and then place and pay the high expensive prices just to feel a little bit safer, just to know, say, more than likely my life is going to be at risk if I go downtown? Or do you still take the risk because of the expense that is associated with shopping uptown? And here's the thing that I've realized with downtown and most volatile communities, and I am not justifying any sorts of donmanship. However, whenever those places were governed, whenever there were specific people running downtown, then the chance of you being robbed was minimal. However, with this new breed, 2.0 criminals in Jamaica, they are not taking any sorts of talk from any sorts of OG, any sorts of Don. They are all lone wolves, so therefore they just do whatever it takes to survive. And if it means turning you into their prey, they being the predator, that is exactly what they are going to do. Let me know in the comment section if you avoid certain places such as downtown, volatile community, market area, and go uptown, the Mega Marts and them. And this is no sorts of plug for Mega Mart, but just as a difference in the prices. Now, based on the information from the Popo, it is said that that suspect that did that robbery against this lady beat her up. He was arrested. He was charged for the robbery and also the assault. However, at the end of the day, to me, and specifically, if you are a woman, the damage was already done. So the question that you have to ask when you do the risk analysis, the pros and the cons, is it worth the savings for you to be traumatized to save a couple of bucks, in which you have to go take back out in some sorts of therapy or all of the flashbacks that you get for the rest of your natural life? Is it worth it? Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called the fully DONS gone even Donsera. I am speaking about an incident that took place in Portland, not Portland as in Jamaica, Portland, Oregon to be specific, in the United States of America, where it is said that the Popo were doing their job, traffic stop. When they spotted a vehicle, when them run the plates, they realized that that vehicle was stolen. Obviously, them pull over the vehicle. When they were searching the vehicle, they came upon a tote bag, and this is the tote bag that you see on your screen. The tote bag, the writing on that bag said, definitely not a bag full of drugs. However, when they searched the bag, it was actually full of drugs, tool, all sorts of cocoa, all sorts of scale, you name it, all of the paraphernalia as it pertains to the hustling. Now, people, I don't know what these criminals were thinking when they had this bag full of drugs, tool and scale, all of the paraphernalia. But I am probably thinking that the Popo was thinking to themselves that, listen, these youths think that they were slick. These youth think that they could use psychology because if them have a bag in a stolen car, that means that they are thieves. Their reputation is not that great. And them have a bag and the bag says, clearly mark, this is not a bag full of drugs. Then more than likely it would not be any source of drugs. However, out of curiosity, because that is what we are trained for, especially when we have persons with their hand in the cookie jar, we might want to investigate and snoop around, looking at the bag and see if it is true. See if these youths are credible based on the fact that we held them on some sorts of crime. Surprisingly to the popo, there was actually DRUGS tool, Ziploc bag, paraphernalia like I said. Obviously, these men were taken into custody. Now people, I am not going to say that it is not coming to a theater near you in Jamaica. But as bad as our fully DONS people are, I am not sure that they are going to ever use this strategy. Or then again, maybe they will. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Point blank and period.
I want a shotting dead right now. Can I find the drop a gun mash up there? I'm not dead by the time you reach the hospital.
Okay, my gap.
I'm not dead, man. I'm not going to survive this. I said go baba. I'm not going to survive this blood bleed. Just try. Help. You know, if you know if you take him up, you know. You know if you know if you take him up. I him. I him. Try I. You know if you know if you hold him. Hold him belly. Can look like he can get you under him belly.
So the next thing that is popping in the news, based on the voice notes or the video that you just heard, edited version, is of a young man known as Shane O.C. Fry Eye. He was taken out on the 11/10/2024 in a Highgate. Highgate is in St. Mary. Now people, if you listen to that voice note, you could hear that there were persons that were concerned. Persons that was pretty much familiar with that person and identifying him while he was laying on the ground, gasping for his last breath. And you hear the lady say, him pretty much gone, him a go DEAD. And while she was saying that and calling out, bawling out for help, the popo was actually on the scene and they looked all dazed and confused. And again, no sorts of ambulance, emergency vehicle of the popo type. So the popo, like they usually do, was lifting up this man by his foot, 2 foot and hand, and I drag him and fling him in the back of the car. Now people, these are CLAAT seats. These seats don't have any sorts of tarpaulin on them or anything to prevent them from getting soiled. But I guess that is what we expect when we are from a third world country. Bugoyaga-ism is in full effect. When you have a government that don't realize their priority on people, this is not about JLP or PNP, whether it was PNP or when PNP was ruling, it was the same thing. For a country that has so much people losing their life, 14 to 1600 on an annual basis, you would have thought that emergency vehicle, as in ambulance, would have been some sorts of priority. Now people don't know what this youth did. Maybe he deserved it. Maybe it was justified. Maybe karma just caught up on him, because when you have a name such as Fry Eye, there's always a message or a method to the name madness. Cannot validate or verify that that is so. However, people may just say, maybe Fry Eye was out there frying brain. However, his time came and his brain was fried because pretty much the people and blaze him up all over him head in him stomach. He looked like mincemeat on the ground. More than likely, he was not going to make it. As a matter of fact, he did not. As soon as I get some more pertinent information, I'll be sure to divulge ASAP. Point blank and period.